Hi! Happy day. What are we on? I can't tell. It's day 7. Happy day 7. Welcome to Readers in the Making. I'm Trina Devery from Trina Devery Teaching and Learning, and I'm excited to talk to you about how Makerspace can actually spark a love of reading. Hope you stick around. Welcome to Readers in the Making, the live show where we celebrate the magic of books and the joy of helping kids grow as readers. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone who loves fostering a deep, lifelong love of reading, you're in the right place. Each week, I will dive into actionable tips, creative strategies, and inspiring stories to help you nurture confident, curious, and excited readers, one page at a time. I'm Trina Devery, your host and biggest cheerleader in the journey of building readers. So grab your coffee, your notebook, or maybe even your favorite book, and let's get ready to inspire the next generation of readers. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Let's dive in. Hi! So today we're talking about how Makerspace sparks reading. So let me tell you a little bit of a story. When I was in a media center in a library, I was a media specialist. I was new to a school. I had left my long time 14-year school that I helped open and build, and I was doing a new thing as a media specialist. I'd always loved books, loved reading, cared deeply about how my students loved reading and how they grew as a reader. So that was a huge on my heart. Also have a huge love of books and all things children's literature. And so I went in as a very eager media specialist to a very large Title I school in my district. And oh boy, it was a disaster. The media center hadn't been touched in months. They'd had subs in and out. Their last media specialist had quit. It was a mess. Books were piled everywhere. It was actually dirty, filthy dirty. There was dirt on top of the tables. There was no crayons, no pencils, no paper, no markers, nothing. I was on the rotation, so I had to teach and get it all organized. I begged the principal to let me in on the weekends. I worked like a dog. It was brutal. I moved furniture, I moved books, I cleaned, I decorated, I made things. And the sad part is that the kids did not love the library. They did not trust me. They didn't know me. These were kids that had dealt with a lot of trauma. So they were very arm's length, and I had to work like crazy to show them how much I cared about them. And I would tell them every day, I'm going to make this place magical for you. I'm going to make it special. I'm doing it for you. I want you to come in and see what it can be like to be inside of a library and how important it is. And I promise you, you're going to love it. And they would be like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, you deserve this. You deserve to have a nice space to come in and read and love reading. And they were like, what? And I talked about this a little bit yesterday about creating a cozy book nook in your home or a place for kids to read, because it matters. This is another example of where it mattered. So I did everything. I mean, it was a complete transformation. I ended up eventually getting new bookcases, getting new carpet, getting new paint. I got really lucky that year. They were redoing the whole media center. I don't know if I would call it luck, because I had to pack and unpack books 3 times. I felt like I was in a sociological experiment and that someone might be playing a game on me. It was pretty brutal. But what a huge difference it made. And one of the things I started with was the Makerspace. I knew if I could just get kids to come in, if I could just get kids to be there, that I could transform them. I could transform them into readers. And it started with the Makerspace. As soon as I learned about Makerspace, which, let me just tell you right now, is not a specific space. It is a mindset. It is a mindset of doing and creating and building and problem solving and critical thinking and collaboration and communication. It is a beautiful place to learn. And I was convinced that I could create this mindset, and I actually did create a space in the library, and it made all the difference. Kids wanted to come into the media center. They wanted to be there. They'd visit me before school. I had a group of fifth graders that ate with me in the library. It came alive. It was incredible. So Makerspace was a huge part of this. And I have gone on to really believe in the power of Makerspace, because I knew I was going to have a struggle with administrators, because isn't that the story of a teacher's life? And if you are a homeschool parent, you don't have to do that. You don't have to struggle with your internal self. You don't have to do it exactly like the school system. In fact, that's the beauty of homeschooling, is you're not doing it like the school system. So don't replicate a system you left just because you don't know how to do it differently. Don't replicate a system that you left just because you don't know how to do it differently. And Makerspace is a great place to start. And I tied Makerspace with literature, and I started creating what was called Makerspace moments in literature. I have since changed those names because nobody could find them in the marketplace, which I sell resources, Trina Devery Teaching and Learning on TPT. I also have a shop on my website, TrinaDeveryTeachingandLearning.com, and I have a shop. So I do sell these Makerspace literature little units, and what they are is I take a story, I take a beautiful piece of literature. Sometimes it's nonfiction, a lot of times it's been fiction, because I really have found fiction to grab kids, but nonfiction is just as important. Also, in the school system, there's a really heavy push on nonfiction, and I think we leave out literature. So really the dream is to have a balance, to have maybe not even an equal balance, but to have a balance. And a lot of times in our day, in our school day, no matter what kind of school we are in, we're doing a lot of focusing on nonfiction, on informational text. That's why we have to give time to literature. So anyway, so I took a piece of literature, I took a story, and I looked at the problem in the story, and I create a challenge around the problem so that kids are thinking deeply about books, because that's the point of reading, comprehension, which we've talked about in the last several days of this YouTube live challenge on Readers in the Making. And I take a problem, I create a challenge, and the kids have to work through it. So the first step they work through is they ask questions about it. They ask questions about the problem. They ask questions about possible solutions. They ask any kind of questions they have. Then they're going to brainstorm or imagine solutions. And this is where they might use a blueprint and kind of draft it out, or even talk it out with a partner, or talk it out with you, or talk it out with someone. And then they're going to create it. And they're using simple materials, which you can find in the Makerspace. Now, Makerspaces can also be portable. They don't have to be a space. Remember, they don't have to be a space. So don't get overwhelmed. I have a lot of information on Makerspace on TrinaDeveryTeachingandLearning.com. In fact, I have a getting started Makerspace startup kit that you can grab for free. Now, let me tell you the link. It's TrinaDeveryTeachingandLearning.com / MS Startup Kit, all one word together, MS Startup Kit, and you can grab that for free. All right, so anyway, so they are using simple materials like Legos, Play-Doh, cardboard, tape, pipe cleaners, popsicle sticks, things like that, that are easy to find, cheap, and could also be recyclables. Any trash that you're using, like old cereal boxes or macaroni and cheese boxes or anything like that, can also be used. So they're creating solutions to the problem. They're testing out the solutions. And this is where you get to kind of work through some productive struggle, which is really helpful when you've got a kid who doesn't like to fail. We want to give them a safe place to learn that failure is just a way of us figuring out what comes next. So failure is important, and we want to give kids the opportunity to fail safely so that they don't feel like it's the end of the world. So anyway, so they're testing it out. And if it doesn't work, if it fails, that's great. Now we know that's not the answer. What else can we do? And so then they make iterations to their solutions. They revise their solutions, and then they test them again. And that is Makerspace moments in literature. And Makerspace sometimes is the key to sparking the reading, because they have to have read the story. They have to have been exposed to the story in order to understand and work through the challenge. And so do you see how that comes together? And Makerspace was such a huge spark for kids to want to read. So hopefully you got a little bit out of that today. I have so much more to talk about at Makerspace. You can check it out on my website, TrinaDevery.teachingandlearning.com. Go to the Makerspace section and you'll see all kinds of things. I have lots of things to support learning with Makerspace inside of my shop on TrinaDevery.teachingandlearning.com, also on TBT. And I know that together, Readers in the Making, all of us, you, me, all of us, we are coming together to build a more confident, joyful reader, one page at a time. See you next time.